Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hi, sir.
Hello,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
I'm sorry.
Hello, sir.
I'm
Hello,
late
sir.
because yeah, it's hard to get into the system. I don't know what happened. That's why I'm late. Okay. Today, how many of you now joining the class? Two, four, five only, or more than that? Or more than that? Yeah. Starting today, we are going to have a mid test. Yeah, up to from today up to the 21st. And this will cover chapter 1 to chapter 7. And if I'm not mistaken, I give you 5 questions on this mid test. And probably the first two, I think they're easy. Yeah. Talking about preposition and so on. And I'm just asking you on the problem number 5, that's concerning chapter 6. That's concerning the Hofstede theory that I will probably explain to you after this. Yeah, let me get the file first, and then I will go back to you. Okay, let me check this one. Uh, let's go to chapter 6 first. This one is can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we can, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get this one. I cannot see it. uh, Hold on ya. Stop screen. Start share screen here. Uh, there we go. Yeah, it works. Yeah. Okay. Since we are late here, let me just start with chapter 6. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, start with chapter 6 in here. This one is about show appreciation. Okay, let's start with this one. This one is the first slide, but when I go on with the slides, if you do not understand and if you want to ask some question or something, just raise your hand or probably just interrupt me, no problem. Okay. So in here, I would like to add a little bit more topics. It's not only show appreciation, because in showing appreciation, when you deal with people coming from different countries, so actually you have to know the basic of how to communicate well with people coming from different countries. They have their own ways, they have their own culture and so on. The definition here, definition of effective communications, actually this one is the definition of effective communication. When you have the same frame of reference in here, frame of reference consists of knowledge. If you have the same knowledge, it will be easier for you to communicate with each other. For example, your major is what's they call linguistic or English. When you talk to someone coming from the same background, will be easier. But if you talk to people coming from like for engineering or something, they're talking something else, then you are not familiar with that. So you won't get an effective communication. Yeah. Experience, norm in here, and values. People have different values because they're coming from different countries, different region. Yeah. And then assumption and so on. When you have that one, at least close, at least you understand their culture in here, then make it easier for you to make an effective communication, like people coming from Japan, how they behave, things like that. People coming from Arabs, they have different culture here. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. A model of communication: when addresser and addressee communicate, they use frame of reference. This one I just explained. Yeah, I just explained that. That means the easiest way to explain what it is you have to have the same frame of reference. When you have that one, try to find out their frame of reference, that make it easier for you to communicate. Make it easier for you to, if you are in business, then your business is moving up, is moving. Yeah. Now, then one theory concerning how to what's that called? How to know, yeah, people coming from different countries by knowing the context. What is context? Context is the environment in which the communication process takes place. People coming from high context and low context, they have different reference, they have different way of thinking. This what's they call, this theory here was was introduced by Hall and Hall. High context is just like people coming from Asian countries. People coming from Asian countries. When you do business with them, actually, the first thing you have to get close to them is trust. When you have trust, then make it easier for you to do business. Yeah. All the paperwork is just put it aside for a while. Later on, probably you can have what's they call, you can have the paperwork. But for the time being, you have to get close. You have to get the trust. Low context people coming from, like for example, people coming from European countries, they don't really care about that. Okay, they care first is about the paperwork. Lawyer is needed in this one. You have to put everything signed together, agree. Yeah, the formal agreement. This is the difference between people coming from high context and low context. High context culture, like people in Asia, like even in Indonesia, I think a high context culture is relevant in here. Yeah. Okay. You have any question? You just ask. Yeah. Then next. Here, what I was talking about, that Hofstede. I don't know how to pronounce this one, because this one is Dutch. Yeah, it's not English name. Gert Hofstede, probably Hofstede according to me. Yeah, Gert Hofstede. He actually found the dimension of culture differences in here. So here, Hofstede dimension. He did empirical study on 66 national subsidiaries. Here, 116,000 questionnaire, and 60 out of 150 question concern values and opinions. He did some research on differences among the countries in the world. Yeah, so he finally concludes that here, yeah, for aspects of national culture, yeah, actually 5 here, one more additional after this. This one that you need to know when you do, I will ask you one question in here, but it's not like what it is. This is just your understanding when you answer the questions on my MIG test. Yeah, this one there are actually 5. Yeah, 4 here and additional 1. for aspect of national culture that affect thinking about organization. When you are working in an organization, multinational organization, then you have to you pay attention on this one. When I was working as a professional, I was not, I did not know the theory behind it, but I felt it. I felt it. It happened. Yeah, I felt it would happen. But then finally, I found out there are theories concerning cultural differences, why people behave like this, something like that, how you should uh, how you should clarify things, how you should settle things, Like for example, when I was in Saudi Arabia, we had a problem, we had a problem settling the our invoice, settling in our invoice. They did not agree with my proposal in Jakarta here. It took probably around 1.5, 2 years, almost 2 years, 1.5 years, something like that. Yeah, and it didn't was that complete. We didn't come into the same conclusion that time. And finally, I went there. I went there to settle that one. You know how that happens? Only 5 minutes or 10 minutes, everything settled. Yeah. Why? Because I know he took me to the pen. They have usually Arabs. They have pen in front of their house, and then we ate together. What they call like in tampah itu apa tampah like that. We ate together, and then we talk nicely, something like that. 10 minutes, everything done. Yeah, 10 minutes, everything done. The problem that it had been 2 years, it wasn't solved. Then only 10 minutes when I visited Saudi Arabia, I came there and talked to him, and that's it. Everything done. This is the importance of having knowledge on this one, national culture. Otherwise, you're going to go on and on and on and on, and the problem is not going to be solved because you have different way of seeing things. Yeah. And then second one, avoidance of insecurity, individualism and collectivism, masculinity and femininity. What are they? And the next slides, I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to explain to you on the next slide. Sorry, yeah. And then the fifth dimension, sorry, short term versus long term. Okay, actually, what is low and high power distance? What is power distance in here? Yeah, in here it says low power distance. There should be a minimum of inequality since it can exploit others. People coming from high power distance, they accept inequality. Yeah, they accept inequality. That means if you have problem with them, then you're supposed to accept this is actually things that you need to accept without question. Yeah. So this one talking about people coming from high power distance and people coming from low power distance. The effect of this is what? People coming from low power distance, they very easy to complain. Yeah, they're very easy to complain because they have no what's they call layer in the society. The society is treated the same way. Yeah. Where in Asia, including Indonesia, there is. But now I think I see things that becoming less and less in here, Indonesia. Yeah, if I see right now, yeah, it's moving toward low power distance. Yeah, but it's still far away. According to me. Okay, here. For example, in here, the highest power distance is in Malaysia. Yeah, according to this one. Australia is the lowest. So that's why if you propose something or you make a negotiation with people coming from that, then it's going to be very challenging. Yeah. Malaysia, they accept rank. Indonesia is also. How you can see that the titles and so on, yeah, titles and whatever. So in a person has this kind of title, then you have to respect. Yes, but you have to just follow. Yeah, this one. Malaysia is the highest. Yeah, and Austria is the lowest. Okay. Next, individualism and collectivism. When we are talking about individualism and collectivism, people coming from collectivism country, they have we mentality, and individualism countries, they have I mentality. We mentality is just Indonesia, gotong royong, semangat gotong royong, right? We like to be recognized as a obstacle, as a group or something, yeah. And people coming from here individualism countries, then they have I mentality, yeah. Identity is based on individual. Identity is based on one social group, yeah. Yeah, relationship prevail, yeah, over task. Task prevail over relationship. This the other way. Okay, if you see this one, the lowest one, individualism country, collectivism countries like Guatemala, they feel secure by probably gotong royong, something like that. But the United States, you have to compete to each other. You know, you have to show people that you are uh, better than others. Competition is there, yeah, in terms of business. So one more thing is, if you are uh, having a chance to meet people coming from America, when they like to just like normal people. They like to make jokes. They're easy to talk. But as long as there is a profit there, yeah. As long as there is a purpose of having relationship, something like that, yeah. As I mentioned I think on our first meeting, that people coming from Russia, they don't even smile. I was there probably, I stayed there for probably about 1 month, if I'm not mistaken. And I very seldom or never actually, I saw people smile. No smile at all. When you smile to people that you don't know, then they will think that you are weird. You are a weird person. Yeah. So don't smile in Russia. Okay, and then another here is about masculinity and femininity here, yeah. In masculinity in here, actually ambitions motivates, yeah. In here, service motivates, yeah. And here, masculinity, yeah, is the name actually refers to what it is, yeah, masculine and feminine, yeah. Work to live in here, femininity, they work to live. In here, live to work. Yeah. Sympathy for successful achiever, masculine. Sympathy for unfortunate. Yeah. Okay. Here is, for example, if you go to the weird thing in here is Japan is actually is masculinity types of country. That means what? Achievement. I used to work for Japanese company. When what I can get their idea of working is, first, when you negotiate with them, yeah, usually when you make a plan, it's very hard for you to change the plan. So when you deal with people coming from Japan, they need to have precise time schedule. You cannot change. Yeah, it's hard to change. You know. Yeah, this is the typical Japanese people. They work very hard. Yeah, they work in a group, something like that. Yeah, this is Japanese, and Sweden is the other way around. Femininity, togetherness or something, discussion, consensus, compromise. Yeah, things like that. That's Sweden. Japan now masculinity. Yeah. And this one is next is low and high uncertainty avoidance. Yeah. Next is talking about low and high uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty in life threatening must be reduced. Yeah. Low uncertainty avoidance, and uncertainty in fact is a fact of life. Yeah. An example of this is Singapore. Yeah, if you see, Singapore is more open to change or innovation. So when you are dealing with Singaporean, they are willing to come into win-win solution. They are willing. But if you are dealing with people coming from Greece here, usually it's hard to convince them. You have to on and on explain something, make negotiation. You know, it's harder to deal with people coming from Greece. Yeah, this one is low, high, uncertainty, avoidance. Okay, next. Short and long-term orientation in here. When we are talking about short and long-term orientation, in here, I will give you need for achievement, self-determination. In here is easy to understand. Long-term orientation, usually pragmatics, modest, and thrifty in here. Thrifty apa ya? Hemat ya, usually ya. Long-term, or and hemat the Chinese people here. Yeah. And Sierra Leone, if I'm not mistaken, is the opposite of this one, short-term people. Yeah, these are the 5 dimensions mentioned by Gerd Hofstede or Hofstede. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah. Next. Okay, when you know that the basic of international international relation, yeah, then you can apply your knowledge to this one business lunch, for example. Yeah, one way to get to know your business counterpart is by lunch, having lunch or dinner together. Yeah, there are some I think some of them I already mentioned to you. Arrive on time usually. Yeah, they don't what's they call, they don't recognize uh, late. Yeah, they don't recognize, just try to arrive on time. And then place, when you exchange the business card, place it in the proper place, you know, it's just on the table or something. Yeah, and then turn off mobile phone so it can give the idea that you really concentrate having a business lunch with them, something like that. Yeah, if you can turn off the mobile phone. Yeah, thank you host or hostess at the end of the meeting. Yeah, business lunch. Okay, this one next. Saying what you think. In some cultures think that is very important to be honest, but in other culture, yeah, it's more important to be diplomatic. What do you think? Do you think is it better to be diplomatic or to be honest? Based on my experience, I think to be diplomatic, for because I was in sales, so I had to be diplomatic. Yeah, but I don't know. Some people they prefer this one. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah. Uh, Trishna, do you think you can give me an example that what do you prefer here? To be diplomatic or to be honest? I don't know. Each person has its own value, right? What do you think? Anyone can give me idea, or Trishna, you want to give me your point of views concerning this one? Or anyone? Anugrah? Yeah, can you give me your point of view concerning you need to be honest, or you need to be diplomatic according to you when you deal with people coming from different countries, you know? No? Can you hear me or not? Is there call unmute unmute the microphone?
Sir,
Yes.
I am Jeffrey, sir. I would like to give my point of view, sir.
All right. Okay, Jeffrey.
I guess I think I have the same idea with what sir said. It's better to be being a diplomatic for someone's, especially when we are going to
Thank you.
engage
Yeah.
ourselves to international circumstances. Why I say like that? Because you know that every people has their own characteristics. Of
That's
course,
right.
if we being to honest to other people, we do not know who are they. Possible they are our enemy. Possible they are people who are going to make us down. Therefore, being diplomatic is something that we have to embrace to make ourselves also not in a risk, not in a risk. So I think that's my point of view about that, sir.
Well, I think I'm with you. Yeah, I don't know, but some people they prefer to have a to be honest, something like that. But I
Yeah,
prefer with you because I was in sales. I always see the what they call the opportunities there, right? When I was in
yes,
sales.
sir.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. But when I'm teaching my students is here, sometimes I just have to say it. Sorry, yeah. But when I'm teaching, yeah, it is what it is, yeah. But right now it's just becoming more diplomatic a little bit. But I
Yes,
used
sir.
to be honest when you get something like this. That's I tell my student, you get like this, that's a long time ago. But right now I learn more better way to convey my ideas, so that's the way it is. Yeah, it's people change. Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's go on. Thank you, Jeffrey, for your ideas. I think I agree, when especially when you are dealing in business with people coming from different countries, yeah. It's very straight. Sometimes can be diplomatic, but some people, like I had people, I don't know why, he was coming from Israel or something like that. I don't know how he got into Indonesia here. I don't know why, how, yeah. But he was very straightforward. If he didn't like it, he said it. He didn't like it. That's okay. No problem. I can deal with both diplomatic or honest. Yeah, yeah. I don't care. Yeah, as long as the business is running according to me. When I was because I was working, yeah, I was measured because of my achievement. That's why that's what I did. Okay. Well, thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then here, your host offer you food that you do not like. For example, diplomatic accept the food and eat it. Honest explain that you do not like. For me, in the middle, I take just a little bit, and then that's it. Probably, yeah. Like for example, like this. When I was in Japan, because I was hungry, and then I had no food that time, and then they offered me a shrimp, fresh one. It's still moving, still moving, still, yeah, not live, but it's still partly live, something like that, yeah, sashimi or something. I didn't have any choice. I ate it, yeah. Actually, I didn't like it. This is uh, I accept the food, and because I have to, otherwise I didn't eat then. Yeah, this is what happened. Probably you can, if I in if I am in this position, probably I'll be diplomatic by taking a little bit. Yeah, not to be honest, then refuse the food. Yeah, this is how I feel. And next, one thing to measure, one thing to measure or to predict. Yeah, how you have to act, how you have to serve your customer or people coming from different countries is by this physical distance here, or this is called proximity, how close you are. Yeah, if you see this one, people coming from Arabs, they have small personal space. That means what? That means they don't want you to get very close to them. It's just up to certain point. They don't want to bring you to their house very easily. No, I work. I deal with people coming from Arabs. I think it was almost 4 years or 5 years. But I never, when I stayed in Saudi Arabia for I think 6 months or something, I had never been invited to his house. Yeah, never been invited. So this one uh, explain why that happened. Yeah. But if you go to Asian countries like Indonesia, if you know you get to know someone now, probably 2 days after now, probably then you might invite him or her to your house. That happens in Indonesia. So if you see this one, yeah, Indian, South European, if this goes to the right, then this one is more open in here, Asian, yeah, here. Okay. Yeah, this one personal space. So you know already people coming from here, if they have a small personal space, accept that the fact that's their culture. I'm not talking about bad or good. This one the culture, yeah. Our culture is in here, open. Yeah. Next in here, I think that's all for chapter 6. Yeah, and I would like to have the review before you have a test here. This is the review for the test. Okay. For the test, I'll give you preposition. This is easy, I think, yeah, for you, and you have plenty of time to do that mid test. So I think it's not going to be hard. Yeah, preposition, some sentences. Then you need just to plug in. You need to plug in the correct preposition to it. Yeah. Next is what? Chapter 3, 4 is about giving direction. Probably there is a conversation, and you just say, what's that called? You just say, if I'm mistaken, there is a multiple choice question. If I'm mistaken, yeah, I forgot the little bit. But this was supposed to be easy, I think, yeah. I'm going to ask about Hofstede dimension in here, but I think it's not one by one like that. It's not the theory, but I think the implementation of Hofstede theory, if you work in international, multinational company for something like that, yeah. This one, and then still 5, 7. Okay. Oh, that's all. But those probably all of the questions that I will take. So that's why I gave you 5 questions. Number 1 and number 2, they're very easy, I guess, yeah. But number 5 is just need your explanation a little bit. The way I give you the grade for this 0.5, yeah, is the how you convey your thought into writing. Of course, there is a grammar and so on. Don't worry about how close your answer to the correct answer. The closer you get, that's just a bonus. The closer you get better grade for sure. That one, yeah. But I'm more to see the writing style of this. I think the dimension of Hofstede dimension. That's all, I guess. Yeah. Don't worry about the content of your writing as long as you put it in nicely and then grammatically okay, something like that. Then it will be fine. Yeah, it will be fine. Yeah. So 2 easy, 2 I think medium. Yeah, and then 1. Yeah, you can say not. Yeah, medium. You can say medium high a little bit. Yeah, it's not really difficult for you to do it. Yeah, because I'm going to see the writing style in this one. I think that's about all I would like to cover for this after chapter 1 up to chapter 7. Before you take the test, I think you can download the test already right now, yeah, starting today up to 21st. Please don't be late to submit the test on the 21st because I have to give a report. Yeah. That's all from me, I guess. If you have any question or something that you don't, yeah, you don't understand something, you may ask me, no problem. Jeffrey, you have any question or something, Jeffrey? Anyone? Is it clear?
Excuse me, sir. I do have here.
Yes, Kevin.
Okay. I'm sorry for the noisy that at my house. Am
Uh-huh.
I audible?
Okay.
All right. Uh, I still remember that there is a question in the learning material in our LMS that is it appropriate for is it I mean is it polite for us, for example, when we have a dinner or lunch with
Mm-hmm.
the foreigners, and
Mm-hmm.
then we try to in the middle or during we are eating our meal, is it
Mm-hmm.
is it possible or is it polite for us to make something a little bit conversation, for example, or even talking about business, or we just keep silent or just finish our meal? What about that one? Thank you.
Okay. Sometimes when you do have a business lunch or business for dinner or fine dining, yeah, fine dining is something when you have a dinner and then it takes hours. One order comes out and then wait probably 15-20 minutes. The purpose of having fine dining is just business, is purely business. So you talk slowly. You don't eat like you want to finish it up and then that's it. No, but you take time. You have a make a joke or something. Yeah, uh, get a good rapport with your clients. They feel happy. When they feel happy, they will be they are open after that. Yeah, when they feel they are not happy, then they close they close they close their conversation probably. Yeah, they close their mind, they close their conversation. So it's okay. You have a that's the way you're supposed to do, not just eating, not just eating. Eating you can eat outside, yeah. But over there, the main purpose having dinner with foreigner is to get a good rapport. How to get a good rapport? By conversation, make jokes, something like that, and that's the best way. That's the best. The best. If you want to be a businessman, that's the best way to do it. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Um,
sir. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Any more questions? Okay, here, if you don't have any question, I think I'd like to end the discussion up to here. Yeah, unless you have question, then I can try to answer. But yeah, you Kevin, that is a good question. If you want to become a businessman or something, yeah, uh, yeah, English is just a doorstep. Yeah? English is a doorstep of opening a business, international exposure. Yeah, that's English. Okay. Okay. Right now, if you go to Jakarta here, that is, you go to Jakarta here in Sudirman area over there, a lot of people speak English. Yeah, a lot of people speak English. Some people they don't speak English. Yes, yeah. But the working areas, business office areas, usually they speak English. Yeah, they know English. They're becoming uh, more and more people speak English. Not when I just graduated from university. Not many people. That's why I took a job. The easiest way to take a job where there wasn't that much competition was international business. My career just went up easily because what? Because it wasn't because I was smart. Because not many people, not nobody, but not many people that time, yeah, that time, able to speak English. That's what I was placed there, yeah. In terms of selling skill, I think I'm just average, yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
No,
Okay,
sir.
this, you don't have any more questions. You don't have any more questions.
Sir.
Please send my regards to Pak L1 ya. Send my regards to Pak L1. He's not here, right?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay, send my regards to Pak L1 ya. And
Right,
also
sir.
for today class. And good luck on your test. Okay. So,
Okay, sir.
Alright, sir.
All right, sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, thank you for today, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
See you, sir.
Bye, sir. See you.
Thank
See
you,
you,
sir.
sir. Bye.
Bang Kev. Bang Kevin.
Apa?
Hana dalam ni sa phone Miguel.
Kenapa cuy? Orang emang ada di soal juga kan belum dijelaskan ya. Kalian udah
Bukan,
ngerjain sampai sampai UTS ya?
Hah?
Udah ada yang kerjain sampai UTS ya? Soalnya belum
Tidak
kuliah
tahu
soalnya.
karena batas kayaknya di situ di UTS tanggal 24.
Kapan
hari
dibuka,
Sabtu.
Okta?
Ah,
Kapan dibuka apa untuk UTS?
udah.
Udah dibuka?
Udah, tapi aku belum
Batas
kerja.
waktunya?
Hari Sabtu kalau nggak salah.
Itu tadi yang dibilangnya ya?
Nggak tahu kalau batas waktunya itu atau kita kerjakannya hari Sabtu, aku pun kurang tahu.
Oh, lah balik lah. Live aku ya. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.